All right, good morning, everyone. We got Danny and Nick jumping in and John Patrick. So thank you guys for being here. And Kim, you can help me with the attendance there, letting people in.
Yep, I got you.
Okay, awesome. So we have a guest here, Tyler Morton's coming from, you said Dayton, Ohio, right?
Correct.
And you're a Remax broker owner?
I am.
Awesome. Very good. And a friend of Nate's as well. So he's going to talk a little bit about a product, a wearable product that, I was at a listing appointment a couple weeks ago and, 3,000 square foot house, lots of, things about it. And it would have been really cool to have been wearing something like that. So I wouldn't have to like take notes, I'd just be able to go back and listen to it and catch all the fun little details, about the home that the homeowner was sharing. So but before we do that, let's it's been a month since we met before. So anybody have any great ahas or takeaways that you've experienced over the last 30 days using AI? Tyler and I were chatting before just about how it seems like it's moving really fast and there's so much coming at us. And it's like, which one do I plug into? Which do I not? Should I be scared of this one or not? So all of the devices are listening to us, which is terrifying. But anybody between Nick and Danny, you guys have any ahas, or John, any ahas that you've had for the last 30 days?
I'll give you one.
Okay.
So I spent about 3 days. Tony Robbins had a 3-day AI summit, and it's amazing how much energy that they put into this 3 days, and they actually had a fourth day bonus. And just the speakers they had was pretty good. And it was, as Tony Robbins would, it's all built into selling your product, And so their product was $1,000 for a 30-day boot camp, which is really just 4 days, 1 day a week, 3 hours each time for $1,000, really to just get your AI persona dialed in, right? And it's quite interesting, the interaction, the different speakers, the people that build businesses from nothing to massive businesses, just some of them just them and their AI partner. And it's quite amazing. And it's, I guess the thing that they were touting, and I've seen a lot online, is that AI, if you're not using AI, you're way behind the curve. And will you, or will some of your friends be replaced by AI? So I spent Sunday redoing a business plan for 2026, and it was robust. And watching the Tony Robbins stuff, I just went into my chat, very simple chat GPT, and I said, "What do you know about me?" And it knew everything about me. And I said, "What else do you want to know?" And then it just went right in. What's your 5-year goal, your 3-year goal, your 1-year goal? And I just started typing in there, and it helped me write an amazing business plan, and very detailed. So it's a good thought partner with anything else.
So could you give us an example of like, did it give you like tasks to do per day, or
Yeah,
like what?
yeah. It gave you went with big picture, and then we broke it down into 2026. So it kind of knew where I wanted to be in 5 years by me typing in my thoughts. Then it broke it down into a monthly plan. My thought was to really dive into luxury. We talked about the guard gated communities. It pulled them all up. I didn't even tell it which ones. It pulled up every guard gated community between Scottsdale and Peoria and listed them and created a plan for each month to dive deep. It wrote a script for Blackstone, which we're starting with. Wrote 3 scripts, for 3 different videos, a 2-minute, a 1-minute, 20-second. It even like created graphs and tables, like, okay, for a 30-day report, where it's amazing. Goes into your MLS without even being a member of MLS, right? And pulls all the statistics down for those communities. Days on market, average price, how many homes sold in the last 30 days, et cetera. All just automatically, right? There's no login password or anything. So it's quite amazing how it can pull data behind, let's call it a closed door like MLS. So other things that it did, uh, created playbooks, different playbooks for different aspects. And so, but it's just taking some time. It was a lazy Sunday, and in between my travels, I just was kind of kicking back, enjoying the couch and my laptop, and got a lot done.
Yeah. Did you think to do like a SWOT analysis for yourself on that, using that?
You can. I did not. I mean,
Yeah.
it popped out so much stuff, Sarah. I was like, wow.
Well, it'd be interesting because that's part of the business plan, right? That's
Mhm.
important that we do, but it's always for me, it's always hard to do, right? Like I can point out my weaknesses all day long, but it's thinking about that. So be curious to see. Maybe I'll try it and share the results to see what the chat, because I use my chat for you because I ghostwrite for you, so I have to always say like this is in the voice of Nate, and so then I have to switch back to okay, now you're talking like me. So it's doing a pretty good job of recognizing that. So and I would encourage you guys, if you haven't done it yet, have your ChatGPT interview you. And then, and if you're not paying for the $20 upgrade, then I hope all of you are. I think I'm speaking to the audience here because it is a night and day difference. And so have it interview you. One of my favorite things I say is that this job is cool as being a rock star. And it actually said that when it interviewed me, and I'm like, how do you know that? So it was pretty wild that it knew my favorite phrase about being a realtor. So it was pretty cool. But okay, Nick, you came off mute. Did you have anything that you wanted to share?
I don't have any aha moments, what Nate has already covered, but somewhere I read it during all these things is saying that in the internet era it took like 20 years to make the first millionaire. In this AI era, it's going to take only 5 years to come new millionaires into the regime. Yep.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm all in on Bold Trail, and I took it probably took me longer just because I'm lazy, right? But I knocked out 15 different community pages and 15 different lifestyle pages for this area. And I mean, John, that was something that would have taken me years to do in the
Right.
past, right? Just the research, and it even made suggestions. Like I did one page for an area called Williamson Valley, and it prompted me and said, would you like Talking Rock? Because that's the next subdivision that's up. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So, went through and the prompt was, and I got this from Tony Ray, is that you're an expert copywriter. And so it went through and did all that stuff for me. I mean, he had to fact check it, right? Always want to fact check it because sometimes it misses things or doesn't get it quite right. But like I said, I mean, to be able to just copy and paste that and put it into my Bold Trail, like it's huge. And if you are trying to create a bigger presence for yourself, ask your ChatGPT who are the top agents, right? Who are the top agents in that area that you want to work? And then, a little tip is blogging. I used to blog for Nate on a weekly basis, like 2 or 3 times a week. And at that time, nobody else was doing it. And he was the number one search result when you looked for an agent in Glendale and Peoria. And one of the best blogs that we ever wrote, and then we'll get into Tyler's presentation, was the first time moving out checklist. When his son was moving out for the first time, we didn't have a checklist. Like, what do we need as a young person moving out for the first time? What do you need? You need a broom. You need a trash can, right? Like simple things that you don't think about, right? So we created this checklist, and for years and years and years, when you typed in first time moving out checklist, that blog was at the top of the search results. So you have to think about what's relevant in the areas that you're working and what do the people need, right? And so making sure it's SEO rich and GEO rich. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Tyler. So Tyler, thank you for being here. And for those of you that are here, and I'll put something out on the Facebook page, for the next 30 days, we're going to run a contest. And so whoever has the most engagement with our Facebook collaboration page will win a free bee. So that's why a freebie, right? Little play on words there. So on behalf of Nate and Tony and I, so you'll receive that. So up your game, right? There's been some agents that have put some amazing video content. Like I love the one of the gal with the lion. Like, did you guys see that on the Facebook page? I'm like, how did you do that? Right. And if you don't follow Dane Rickard on Facebook, I would highly encourage that. He did one where he jumped out of a Remax balloon and like crashed into his listing. Like they're doing some really cool stuff with this. So yeah, so whoever has the most interaction is going to get a freebie. So that being said, Tyler, take it away.
First off, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Super excited to
Thank
be
you.
here. But I do want to make it clear that Dane stole that idea from me.
Oh, all
Um,
right. Credit where credit is due.
no, Dane and I are good friends, but yeah, we use Sora quite a bit in a lot of our marketing, and the amount of engagement that you get from it is insane. I mean, videos that I would typically post online are getting, 1,000, 2,000 views, and those instantly get 4 to 5,000.
And can I ask you, how are you doing it? What tool are you using?
We're using the Sora app, so Sora, which is it's an open AI product, um, and just
What is it
creates
again? S O.
Sora.
Okay.
So it is Sora 2, and it does a fantastic job. It makes 10-second videos based on a simple prompt. So the only thing that you have to do when you first get it is you hold up your phone selfie style and record a quick video, just saying numbers that are on the screen. And then it has you turn your head left and right, and then it can create 10-second video clips based on a simple prompt. So it's really, really cool. And what I found is, so when you get it, it's invite only. For the most part, I think I got 4 invites when I first got it, and then now they've upped that to 6. But if you do have a Chat GPT Plus subscription, download the app, log in with your Chat GPT Plus subscription, and it will ask you for the code. Go in the next day, and it'll let you right in.
Okay. And the
So
plus, is that more than $20 or is that
no,
just the
it's a
20?
$20 program.
There's $20. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Right on.
So,
So yeah,
and you
if you
can
guys
even do
haven't,
collaboration stuff. Like Dane and I did a video with Nimesh. So
yeah.
we did like all 3 of us in a video, and it's cool because it can
Was
use
that the
all of
one
our
where you
avatars.
guys pretended to be the office space where you were beating the Android phone?
Oh no, I don't know if I was in that one.
Well, there was one where they recreated the scene from Office Space when they go out and take the printer and beat
Yeah.
it up, but it's an Android phone, making fun of us people that still use Androids.
So
So,
that is the quick disclaimer: is Sora only works on iOS.
okay.
So
So the cool kids only that have the Apple phones, huh?
that's right. No, I was talking to another Remax guy yesterday, and he was like, "This might make me finally ditch my Android." So, but no. So one of the things that when I do these AI seminars that I do, um, I am a huge proponent. I know you have read.ai, taking notes for this. And very similar to that, I've used Fireflies, but I recommend using the notes on your phone. If you go to
Mhm.
notes, you've got a really cool feature when you hit the paperclip at the bottom where it asks you to do a new voice recording. Of course, I clicked off of it, but you can do record audio. And if you record that, it will give you the full transcription. And so when you go to seminars, when you have client meetings, it's awesome to set your phone down and say, "Hey, do you mind if I take some notes real quick?" And you put your phone down on the table, and it will record that entire conversation. So I do that at the beginning of my AI presentations because I see everybody typing away, and I'm giving out 15 different tools that they should be using, and it's hard to keep up with. And so notes on your phone by far is the most accessible, and it's free. So all I do is take that transcription after it records it, and I throw it into ChatGPT and say, "Summarize this for me." So that kind of
Is
led
that
to the.
is
Go
that
ahead.
only an Apple product or is that something that
You can do
all
it on
phones?
Google phones as well. I don't know what
Okay.
Google Notes is called. I use Gmail and I use all of the Google Drive products, but yeah, I don't. I don't have an Android, so I don't know what that's called, but it does the exact same thing.
Okay.
So, and I do want to cover 2 things that you guys brought up before I dive into B because B is super cool. I'm wearing it today and it's recording right now. But Nate, you had mentioned the Tony Robbins um, seminar that you went to, and those were really, really long. And so I took it and I said, okay, give me, here's the transcription from it. I used a product called TurboScribe for that. And I dumped in just the YouTube link, and it went right into summarizing the entire thing because those were like 4-hour events, and they did 3 days of them. And I actually had an agent of mine reach out, and he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to listen to this while I'm driving because I've got a lot of drive time today." But the first day he said was pretty dry, and so he was like, do you have a tool that can help me with this?" And so it went into it, and I even asked it, "Hey, give me the actual tools that they use, or do they mention any specific tools? And then it went into here, do the same for day 2, do the same for day 3. And so there was a lot of information there. So what I like to do with those types of transcriptions, and there's a lot you can do with them, but put them in here and then say, create 3 action items for me based on this transcription or based on this seminar or whatever it is that you attend. Because we are overwhelmed with data, right? And it's great, and we're invited to 3 to 10, 20 webinars per week. And so that's why I think Fireflies and products like that are really great for attending those so they can summarize them. Because a lot of times they are selling you something. And so when I want to get the data without being sold something, I just want to read the overview and kind of see it. I think there's something certainly to be said for attending and seeing the nuances of how people use products like this, but I think we're overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that we have to go to. And so note takers like this, or even TurboScribe, allow you to get kind of the condensed data and the takeaways, but then you have to take action on them. And so put in there, hey, and I'll just type it in here. I haven't done it yet, but what are 3 action items I can implement in my business?
Yeah, it's all about the prompts, right? Asking the right questions.
Yep. There you go. You record a voice memo or Loom video, ChatGPT turns it into a blog post, 3 social captions, 1 email, 5 real ideas. Canva Magic Studio creates the visuals. Zapier schedules everything. Train a custom GPT to think like you for client messaging and lead follow-up. And automate 1 repetitive process that steals your time. So, and what I think a lot of agents don't realize is, like, you can use this, and when you don't understand what it's telling you that you need to take action on, you can ask it. Like, if I don't know, so give me a Zapier or Make Automation to eliminate this task. I know how to use those, but a lot of agents might not. And it's probably recommending these because I've had 2 years of chat history with it. And I could just say, help me with this. All right, so it's asking me to choose one. So we're going to say draft follow-up emails to leads. There we go. So, and it will give you step by step. I mean, I don't know how to code, but I take screenshots of code or, issues that I'm running into. And there are tons of different platforms that you can use for this stuff, like Zapier or make.com. I'll take screenshots of exactly what I'm looking at and put it into ChatGPT and be like, help me with the next step, and explain it to me like I'm a 5th grader, because half the time it's giving me 10 steps in a row and I don't know, what is next for that. The second thing I wanted to cover real quick is, you mentioned auto blogging with ChatGPT and creating those community pages on your Bull Trail site. Have you tried out ChatGPT Atlas yet?
No.
So ChatGPT Atlas is really, really cool. Let me see if I can switch windows here. So ChatGPT Atlas is basically a browser like Chrome, but has ChatGPT built into it. And so let's see. I don't know if it's going to let me share that browser. Now I've got too many windows open. Bear with me. There we go. All right, so Atlas, you can see here, it looks just like Chrome, except for instead of having the bar up here or Google search, it is Ask ChatGPT. So I can go right into Bold Trail. Well, I can get into here, but I can do stuff, and then you could do this for community pages. I don't think I have the blog set up on my page, so I'm just going to go into
Yeah, you should. No, go down to your website. Yeah, there you go. And then
Yep.
go click over to blog.
Sure do. All right, so let's go ahead and say, I want to create community pages And this could fail miserably because I'm demoing this live and I've never done it. But we're going to try it. Create community pages for Beaver Creek and Kettering, Ohio.
And I put in there, make sure it's SEO and GEO rich.
Make sure it is SEO and
GEO.
rich. You are a professional copywriter. That good?
Sounds good.
Do this by clicking add post. It's going to say, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. There you go. But I want to say, okay, no, I want you to do it on this page.
And Tony recommends that blogs aren't more than 900 words.
I can use your browser. You hit continue. And now it's taking over.
Oh, shut up.
So I've done this for like, it's checking the current page setup, but I've done this for like, hey, here's my list of 10,000 leads. Who are the buyers that are most likely to buy this week or this month? And it will give you a summary just super quick. All right, so it's thinking about it. So it sometimes has a problem with pop-ups. So we'll see if it's able to do this. And I know we're way off topic, but I thought this was something cool that
No, this is
you were
way
talking
cool.
about, and I wanted to jump into it real quick.
That's it's a collab, right? So we go with the flow. This is one of my goals to increase my business because I'm kind of new in the area. I'm not new to the area, but I'm new to the real estate piece of it. So I've been trying to be consistent with the blogging weekly. So this is huge.
Well, and you could put in, here's, 10 to 20 cities, and it will do all of these, and you could just have this working in the background. And so I use this as a test. Like I started out using ChatGPT Operator, which was enormously expensive. And it was, I think, $200 a month. And it was really, really slow and clunky. And kind of the test that I used for it was, can it enter a listing into my MLS based on a data sheet? And the short answer is yes, it could, but it took about 45 minutes of me battling back and forth with it in order for it to remotely work. And then a product called Manus, MANUS.IM came out, and it was $39, and it did it. And it did it faster and better. And I thought it did a nice job. You could schedule these for other updates too if you wanted to say stagger these. So you're
Sure.
not having 10 all at once. But
Yeah, I have mine include hashtags too, so that when I go to do the post, I've got the hashtags. So
sure. So you can customize it, but you can see how this is working.
it's amazing. And
So
this is just Chat Atlas. That's it.
ChatGPT Atlas. So if you just Google, or I can do it in
Somebody
here.
put it in the chat already, but
I can't even type GChat. There you go.
okay.
But so, yeah, I went from Manus to then using Comet, which is Perplexity's browser. It does the exact same thing. And I went from, hey, the 45-minute MLS listing input with Manus went down to about 20 minutes. And then with Comet, it went down to about 8 minutes. And with ChatGPT Atlas, it did it in less than 5 minutes. And so all I did was give it a PDF and say, enter this listing into the MLS under my name. And it did that. And it's insane. So like that kind of a lot of that work that you outsource or have an assistant do, it can do a lot of those things for you in the background while you're doing it. But it's still running with this. It's already done.
Tony Ray has his little Tony Ray's helper. If you guys don't have that yet, John, I don't know if you could put that in the chat for us, but that's pretty helpful. You can upload up to 10 photos and it will write your MLS description. It will write a blog post for you, flyer, all that. I tried it. I put photo. It knew what kind of granite countertops the house had. Like it was pretty wild. And he's programmed it to stay away from buzzwords that we shouldn't say that have fair housing issues. So
yeah, I noticed the very first blog here had schools in it, which I would typically take out.
Well, it likes the word walkability, which
It does.
I struggle with that. So, but yeah, so yeah, you have to screen it for things like that because we got to be careful. But that Tony Ray thing is pretty helpful, just creating, good content. So,
For sure. So yeah, I would definitely check out ChatGPT Atlas. It's free if you have a plus subscription, the $20 a month, and it's incredible. It imports all your stuff from Google Chrome really, really well. And so I've had a kind of a seamless transition for it. There's nothing that I miss from Chrome that I didn't otherwise have. And it even keeps track of like the websites you've been to so you can chat with it and say, hey, what was that website I was on yesterday that had to do with blank? Because otherwise I'm searching through my history going, what was that? And I can't remember the name of it. So ChatGPT Atlas is really, really cool. But we're here to talk about B. I know that, but I thought those two things would be cool to show you. But this is B. This is the wearable that I'm wearing right now. It's my always on AI assistant. So you can chat with it, you can have conversations with it. It recalls your entire day. It gives you some really cool things like this. So it does summaries and takeaways, reflections and insights, and then your daily memories. And so what's really cool is it does give you that full summary of your day. So it does then give you suggested to-dos, and you can choose whether you want that to be within the B app or if you want those to-dos to be on your reminders list through your iPhone. And so I use the reminders on my iPhone because it pops up every day saying, hey, you need to reach out to so and so, or you need to. So it gives you action items based on conversations you've had. Now, one of the things I didn't like when it first launched, and let me preface this with a lot of people I know use Plod Note. It's a little device that sticks on the back of your phone, and it's really cool. I had it. It records phone calls as well, which is
both
another
sides
use.
of the phone call,
What's that?
both sides of the phone call.
Both sides of the phone call. It does announce that, but you can do that within your Apple iPhone now. I'm pretty sure you can do it within Androids as well. And it does announce that it's recording. So if you're on a call, you click more. And I had an agent tell me the other day, he said, I'm driving, actually the same agent that asked me for the Tony Robbins thing. He said, hey, I'm out driving while he's on the phone with a client. Do you mind if I record this call so I don't miss anything? And they were like, yeah, that's cool. So he clicked the button, it popped up and said, hey, this call is now being recorded. And then he had the full summary in his Apple Notes as soon as he was done with the call. But B does that for your entire day. The one thing that I didn't like is it was always recording. So I had a bad habit of taking this off at the end of the evening, putting it on the couch. I have like a ledge behind my couch, putting it there. And then I would forget to put it on the next day and it would record whatever was on the TV for like 14 hours. So like my kids were watching Netflix, a show called Bella and the Bulldogs, and it's about this, teenage girl that's the quarterback for the high school football team. And so I was making all these suggestions, these, let's see, I don't see them on here, but it was giving all these suggestions on like suggestions for my family. Like my daughter needs help with this, juggling school and her football career. And I was like, wait a minute, like I have to swipe off 300 of these. So now with the update, it only turns on if you click the button on it. So I click the button and then it's on for as long as I am talking, except for if there's a 15-minute pause with silence, it will turn off just to consume or conserve battery. And so one of the cool things is the battery life on this is incredible. I mean, it's like 7 days of battery. I had the Plod Note, which sticks to the back of your phone. And what I didn't like about that is it had a proprietary charger, and I promptly lost that. So I have no idea where that charger is. I think I used that for like a week, and I've never been able to use it since. This charges on a USB-C and is super cool. You can either do the bracelet or they have even like pendant necklaces like that they fit in. And it also does have, if you have an Apple Watch, it has an app for that. But you do have to have the device in order to sync it so that you can use. Yeah, Nate's recording on his watch right now.
No, you know what? You don't have to, because I bought the B while I was waiting for it. I started watching a few videos on YouTube, and there's an app. It's built to your phone, so it's free. So I got the B 2 days later. It's still in the box, and I've been using the B on the and I prefer the phone. I mean the watch, so I don't have to wear something else.
Right.
And you just turn it on like it's recording right now. So I think it's pretty cool. And like you, sometimes you're driving in the car, and next thing you know, this talk radio show is recording all that stuff. So you got to learn to toggle it off and on.
Yeah.
But I assume at some point they're going to charge a subscription because I don't know how you support a technology, or they're just using all this information against us because Amazon did buy them.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Amazon. Yeah, you can see it at the bottom of the website. Amazon B is now part of Amazon.
Mhm.
So they're using that data, I'm sure, to improve their
Yeah.
products and sell you something else.
Right.
So John posted in the comments it's only for Mac users.
Yes, I
Well,
believe it is only iOS right now.
See, the world is all about Apple, guys. So if you're not
Yeah.
there, maybe you should get there.
And that's
You could
a
take your phone. You could take your phone, Sarah, and they'll give you a free one just to switch over, switch carriers.
look. I like Google as much as the next person, and I used to be an Android user. I went iPhone, then Android came out. I went to Android for a couple of years, but I found that technologies are released first on iPhone because the developers make more money with iOS users than they do on Android. So a lot of the tech that I want to try first is always on iPhone, and that's why I have one. There are definitely things that Android has huge advantages on, but if I can't get a basic app, like that's kind of a deal killer for me. But yeah, so B does a fantastic job. And Nate, I'm glad you chimed in with the you don't have to have the device because I said that yesterday during a presentation and somebody corrected me and said, hey, yeah, you do because you have to sync the two. And I was unaware of that, but now you're saying you don't. So I'm not sure, your miles may vary on that one. So here's an example because I am terrible at taking notes. This was um, during a meeting with a seller that I had, and I got back and I was had the listing being put into the MLS, and I was like, I have no idea what they told me on the age of the roof or the furnace or the water heater. And so I said, hey, what were the upgrades and updates the seller discussed? And it says, I'll review the conversation with the seller at 1482 Fudge. They converted the two-car garage into a master suite during the COVID period. The entire house has been updated since they purchased it 14 or 15 years ago. They refinished all the hardwood floors. Basement's mostly unfinished, but has a finished section from the 1970s. They updated the plumbing by running new water lines. So, I mean, it's giving me a full detailed conversation recap. And I said, do you know the dates they replaced the utilities and appliances? I'll check. And here you go. Water heater was replaced last year, 2024. The furnace and AC was installed in 2010. The roof was replaced, no specific date for the other updates. Seller mentioned that the dishwasher was not even a year old. So yeah, I can then take this and say, drop this into ChatGPT, just copy it and say, write me a listing description based on this. So that is what I used B for. Again, the reminders are huge for me because I'm just a forgetful person. I did tell my wife, I was like, man, you know who else is forgetful is our kids. And it'd be awesome if they had these in school to take all their notes for them. And she was like, absolutely not. So yeah, it's one of my top 10 devices I've ever purchased. And it just does a fantastic job for 50 bucks. And like I said, no subscription. B's incredible.
If I could add a couple of things,
Yeah.
you remember Johnny Ives from Apple, right?
Yep.
So he works for Open AI now, and his job there is to develop wearables. Right. So the whole world, I mean, if you think of the guy that was the main engineer that built the first Apple phone, iPhone, is now hired on with Open AI to build these type of technologies. And the fun part about my B is about 8 o'clock at night, I get a report.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, just like you said, you're talking through the day. As realtors, we talk to literally, 30, 40, 50 people in a day. And you have a seller that wanted you to maybe remove the lockbox or relocate the lockbox. And, you're driving down the road, you're having this conversation and you forget about it, right? Because you didn't write it down. You're driving on the freeway at 75 miles an hour. But when you listen to it, I go, oh yeah. And then it'll put it right into your, it'll ask you, do you want to put this into your Apple reminder? And yes, you do. And then the next day at 8 o'clock, it reminds me, go move the lockbox or have somebody move it,
Yeah.
So it is for me. And, as I'm aging, I'm in my mid 60s now, my memory is not as sharp as it was when I was 20, I'm sure, And so I kind of look at that. I have like a full glass of water. If you pour more in to that glass, something's going to fall out.
Yep.
And that's me, right? I mean, I always have more information pouring into me, more information being poured into me. I can't retain it all. But, and by the way, I have an extra plod cable if you need it, because I lost mine, had to order another one. And what happens? It ships from China. You finally get it and you find your cord. Now I've lost the actual plod. So
Well, I'll just give you my plot because I prefer the
Yeah.
B.
Well, and I do too, and it's cheaper,
Yeah.
And the plot was cool because it did have the built-in AI, and it would even do a mind map for you. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But so what else? What else have you used the B for? I mean, walking around and listing, Sarah. If you would have had this on, or if you would just use the record button either on your phone or in the notes section, it'll take a complete transcription of any conversation. Like a lot of times, like if I wasn't at the airport right now, I would probably be recording this with my note, right? And putting it in a chat GPT and giving me the summary,
Well, I
I
think
never thought of,
I think our Read AI is on for the
yeah,
report.
but it's different, right? You don't have to have a read AI. This is anything you can walk into a meeting with the seller and just record, and you get all this information. You create the summary, you create your to-do list, and it's just amazing to be able to use technology like that. And it's so simple,
Well, how
And I
many
have not
times?
had a
I was going to say, how many times a day do we have, where we run into somebody that we know at the grocery store, and they mention, oh, my aunt's getting ready to sell. I've put in your name, but it'd be great for you to follow up with a text the next day or 2 days later and say, hey, just want to make sure I'm still at top of mind for your aunt, because I'd love to help them sell their home.
Mhm.
So it's the other cool thing that you can do. And this was one that I had not tried, but I do have Grok built into my car. And I could not for the life of me remember one of my past clients' address. And so I just asked Grok, hey, what is Joe and Sally's Smith's address in Greene County, Ohio? And it pulled it up.
Wow.
And so, you could do the same thing if you know that aunt's name that you have the reminder for, ask that and then send them something in the mail.
That's almost kind of creepy.
Let me ask a question, because I know big AI people that have been using it and exploring and experimenting have a lot of different AI partners, right? Like Gronk and Perplexity and Claude. And I mean, I pretty much have limited myself to just Chat GPT, and I'm not saying I'm overwhelmed, but it's doing just about everything I want, right?
Yep.
So when you start talking about Gronk and Perplexity and different things, maybe you can give our listeners some thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I think it's the right tool for the right job. So what I found is like Claude doesn't have a use case for most agents unless you are really digging into code. Claude is fantastic at it, but I think it's a little slow. But it's also like I burned through my credits even on the $20 a month plan. ChatGPT is kind of like the girlfriend that I've had for the last 3 years because it knows everything about me. It has 3 years of history, right? Grok I got because it was, hey, I want to try this out. It's built into my car, and it's very much like Perplexity with real-time search. So I think it does a better job of pulling up real-time data, and so that is what I use it for. So if I wanted to, like, I was on the way to a showing the other day, and I like most agents, I was unprepared. And so I was like, hey, tell me everything about 123 Main Street. And it told me everything. And so I actually recorded that. I put it in one of my email newsletters that I send out every week. And I was blown away because it gave me, here are the, here are the facts about the house, how many days it's been on the market. Like you were saying, it has backdoor info into MLS data because it told me that the basement flooded in 2019.
Wow.
It told me, and I said, what's some other information that would help during negotiations? What are the comps? And it told me all the comps. It told me what they sold for, comparable square footage, all that good stuff. And it's probably using Zillow and other public data for that. But it even went into, hey, we found chatter about the HOA being difficult to work with in these forums, and it was specific to this address. And I was like, what? So that is where I think, having the right tool for the right job.
And what tool was that you used?
That was using Grok. You could do
Mm.
the same thing, I think, very easily with Perplexity. So I have some automations, and that's where I think B will go with backing by Amazon, is a lot of automations that we aren't seeing currently. Because when I first got my B, I was like, man, this is capable of so much, but it could do so much more. Like start drafting an email for me to preview based on a conversation I had today. Or, hey, yeah, I'll send you a text later on today. It should be able to do those things through automations. But when I went to B's developer website, I sent them the email, got no response, and I did it like 4 times, but it was in the midst of them getting acquired by Amazon. So I understand why they didn't respond. So
Do you think Atlas is like the Gronk, or the same thing? So if you were going to go, if you're a chat guy and you want to go to Atlas, would
well,
you
they're
be
related
using that
because it's
instead of
got all
Gronk?
of your chat history built into Atlas.
Mhm. But it would probably do the same thing as talking to Gronk, right? Or no?
Probably pretty close. I still think, ChatGPT has kind of separated their AI agent with, here's what you have to do, and it sends it out on a task to scour the internet. And that seems to be pretty seamless for Perplexity and for Grok.
Mm.
But yeah, the other one that I use that I mentioned earlier is Manus. And I think it's better at executing. And you could probably do this now with Atlas um, or with even just ChatGPT agent. But let me share my screen here again. Again, I've got too many windows open. My apologies. All right. So here's Manus IM. And again, I started using this because ChatGPT Operator, which was kind of before they released Agent, was too expensive and too slow. And so I took data from my entire MLS. I gave it to Manus, and I said, I have a comprehensive real estate marketing analysis task. I have uploaded sales data for Beaver Creek and need you to identify the best neighborhoods for a realtor to dominate through strategic geographic farming. And so what I did was took the last 2,000 days of sales from Beaver Creek into a spreadsheet, and I gave it to that. And I said, here's all the things that it did. But I said, I'm looking for what neighborhoods don't have any 3 agents that dominate. And so it says, hey, the estates have 50 annual sales, 9.2% is the top 3 agent share market. And so it went into this entire thing, and it even gave me an every door direct mail campaign because that was in my instructions. Again, that was a very thorough prompt. I had ChatGPT help me write that. So
you had ChatGPT help you write the prompt and then threw it into Manus.
yep. And so here's the PDF that it gave me. It's a 20-page executive summary. And it gives me, it gave me the rank of every one of those neighborhoods, the average annual sales, the average price, the top 3% of agent share, and the opportunity score. And then it gave me detailed competitor analysis. So I can see, in the estates, Canal dominated, but he still only had 2.8% market share in that neighborhood. So then it gets into, okay, here's the marketing budget, and it breaks it down for every door direct postcards. And then the printing cost from Got Print, I gave it that because it's the site I like to use. And it was able to track down the pricing for all of that stuff. And then it said, here's your monthly budget for every one of these neighborhoods. Here's your financial projections. On a conservative basis, you might get one listing. Your revenue is $10,898. Your return on investment, if you mail them once a month, is 21%, and you might have 2% market share. On a base case with 2 listings, you would have 142% return on investment, and aggressive, you'd have 263%. And so it does that for every one of those neighborhoods. And then it even gets into the 3-phase implementation strategy. So it says, hey, target the top 3 neighborhoods and then expand months 7 through 12 to 3 more. And then domination months 13 through 24, add the 4 remaining neighborhoods. This would have taken me weeks, if not months, to create something like this.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you would have never finished it because it's so
Right.
mind-boggling.
Exactly. So what does Manus cost? Is it also like $20 a month or is it more?
Manus is 39.
Okay.
So, but I think with ChatGPT agent, I mean, let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna live drive, which is never a good idea.
So you keep saying ChatGPT agent. Is that different than just regular ChatGPT?
Yeah. So if I go into ChatGPT agent, you have to go down here to agent mode.
Okay.
And you only have, I have 35 more of those tasks available. So if I go to agent mode, let me grab that prompt. And see if I can. There's the same CSV that I did. And this, I will say Manus did this in about 10 minutes. ChatGPT will probably take significantly longer. All right, so here we go. And let me add that file. And you'll see exactly what it's working through here.
You know, while that's working through it,
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So I know Remax launched the the Max AI this last week.
Yep.
Have you? I think you were kind of beta testing it originally, and I just went in and bought the year
Same.
package, and you know, and so I've only had like 2 days. I kind of tested it myself, but maybe do you have any insight you can share? Not everybody here is Remax, but there's some that are. But why that's doing its thing in the background, maybe you can talk about that.
I wish I could. I did the same thing. I wasn't one of the beta testers for it.
Okay, I bet you were. Yeah.
But no, I did. I paid for the year just like you did. And I have not put it on my site yet. I haven't even seen an email from it yet. So
Well,
I maybe missed
it's
it,
probably
but
there.
it's probably there,
'cause-
but I've had
yeah.
2 days of
Yeah.
huge AI presentations and haven't seen it.
So I went on and basically it's just a little, like, lack of a better word, a little chat bot on the bottom corner of your website.
Yeah.
And it says, may I help you? And you can start having a conversation with it. And it loaded them into Bold Trail. It put me on the search, you know, just by chatting back and forth. And I was trying to break it because I was saying stuff like, is there an open house on this property Saturday? And, you know, and I talked to Nate, and, you know, I was really, you know, trying not to let it just direct me where I wanted to go. I
Right.
was trying to override its direction. It was pretty cool, you know. But I mean,
Nice.
again, it was one interaction is all I've done, and you know,
What was
I don't know if anybody.
What's the annual cost, Nate?
It's 300. I think it's $30 a month, or you know, which is $360 a year, or you can pay it quarterly or annually, and for $300, it was worth it.
I thought it
'Cause,
was.
you know-
I thought there was a discount for if you did the annual, like it was like
Yeah, so-
160 for the year or something like that.
No, I think it was 300 for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that saves you $60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got made fun of
But,
yesterday for the number of subscriptions that I have because it's a lot.
Oh, you know what? One of the things I heard on the Tony Robbins thing is the guy went into all his credit cards and made a spreadsheet of all his reoccurring bills.
Mhm.
You know, his cell phone, his cable TV, his internet, and all that. And he asked Chat to analyze it and see if there's a cheaper way to do it. And it found like a lot of these subscriptions he was on, that they have lowered the price, but they're still charging him the higher price. And I don't know what it ended up saving him, but that's something that I'm going to do because I have, we have all these subscriptions, and chat will go in and find a better price or maybe a replacement. Or if you're not using it, it remind you to maybe cancel it.
I did the same thing with, I saw somebody post a prompt for your grocery receipts. And so I just wanted to test it out and said, hey, a lot of things I don't mind generics on, but some things I definitely do. And I gave it one of my past receipts and said, find me alternatives to some of the stuff that I'm buying. And it was like, hey, you could save $60 a week on average by doing these like 8 things.
What did you do? Just take a picture of your receipt and upload it to your chat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but every time we have this meeting, my brain hurts when we're done. Stuff that's out there, feel overwhelmed and behind the times. But I do agree that if you're not embracing it in some regard, you're going to get left behind. And just how it's just changing, changing our lives. So, any comments or questions from the audience? Anybody doing something cool that you want to share? Yes, we will. Yes, Patricia, the recording will be posted and pinned to the top of the Facebook group. So on the contest, I'd love to see what's your best prompts. Is there any tools that you're using, or post cool videos, anything like that you guys are doing. So, and whoever is the most active will get a freebie.
We do have a question in the chat.
Okay, what is it?
CapCut for AI feature for clips. Are you talking about like it takes long form content and clips it into smaller, more social friendly reels? Or yeah, I use Opus for that. If you go to Opus, I think it's opus.pro. Let me just run over here real quick. Or opus.clip. Let's just look it up. Yeah, opus.pro. All you do is drop there you go, 65% off the annual plan. What I found was, I think this is $30 a month, but it saves my director of marketing a ton of time because we do a lot of long form videos. It will take those and it will create 10 viral clips from an hour-long presentation. It'll probably create 40 from that. And then we can just post those on social really, really quick. And it even gives you the hashtags automatically. Gives you the title and what you should write with it. It's really, really cool. I will say, check it out. Get your first month for 50% off, and don't sign up right away. But like the next day, I got a deal that was even better than these. And so I think for the entire year, it was like $120. So Opus Clip is really, really cool.
Opus, okay.
Yeah, editing.
John puts everything he says into the chat. So
I see that.
And John, since I'm going to be traveling, will you copy and paste that and send it to me in an email?
Sure, Nick.
John's like my AI. Definitely my VA, but
So you're taking us back, huh?
Yeah, Rick, I saw your post on the $20 to $30 a month problem. Yeah, I had this conversation with another broker owner the other day, and it was like, hey, we're $20 a month subscription to death. A lot of them it's leapfrog innovation. So I will try them for at least a month and then move on. If I don't find myself using it daily, I will move on to something else. And so ChatGPT Plus, $20 a month is by far the best one that I use. That's the one I would recommend to 99% of agents.
Yeah, it definitely at least gets you a soft launch into it, right?
Yeah. Well, again, you're getting ChatGPT, the enhanced version. You can have access to the Atlas browser and to Sora, and so those 3 tools alone make that $20 well worth it. The only other one that I use that does a fantastic job and it's free is Gemini, and I use that for image creation. So I did that as an example. This is still working. It's probably not going to be done by the time we're done. It keeps finding Google ads in real estate. But I did one yesterday. here was the graphic that ChatGPT made for my lender. And I was like, man, that's kind of a boring one. Let's see what Gemini can do. And oh, we created these two. We did a live demo of like, hey, here's an email. If you're not sending weekly emails to your clients or your database, you should be. It doesn't have to be all real estate related. It should be what's going on in your market. And so like, I don't live in Las Vegas, but we did this as a live demo and had ChatGPT create this email on upcoming fall activities. And then I had whatchamacallit, Gemini create this graphic for me.
Wow.
And it,
Yeah,
it
that's one
pulled
thing.
in-
ChatGPT is not great with images.
it's really not.
Yeah, Dolly's kind of weird. It
Yes, I had her
hallucinates a
do
lot.
one for me on something. My chat had me named as Stephanie. I'm like, what are we doing? So the graphic said Stephanie.
Yeah.
But and Gemini's free, so that's cool.
Yep. Here you go. We did one for Denver as well. And it shows, all the different events that we mentioned in those emails that we were creating. But you've got a huge opportunity to market to your database, and you should be providing value to them weekly. So use AI to write those emails, use Gemini to create a graphic and send that out. I've been doing it for over 2 years with over a 30% open rate, and it's huge.
Nice. All right. Well, we're right about at time. So Tyler, thank you so much for your time, for being here with us. And I took a bunch of notes, as I always do in this this class that we do. So Nate, you got any final thoughts? I muted you for a second, but you got any
Yeah.
final thoughts?
Yeah, I would say what we're looking for to give away the freebie is, interaction over the next 30 days. And what I'm envisioning, if you like post 3 or 4 things, that might get you 3 or 4 chances to win, right? So the most interaction, the best interaction, we'll pull a name out of the hat next month and send you a freebie. And it's just so cool. It's a freebie. And and again, if you're an Apple Watch person, it's free. Go get it. Go download it. You'll get the app on your phone. Okay. And then once you download the app for your phone, you download the app for the watch. And and I've been using it, I guess, now for about 10 days. And I would say it's pretty cool. There's some days I get to turn it on. And there's some days I forget to turn it off. So it's you just got to remind yourself. Like if I'm going into a listing appointment, or if I'm going to an appointment with my team, yesterday I was in an appointment with on my core people at Remax. They know I have the B. I told them I got it on, and it's a great reminder of what we talked about and to help prioritize your notes and follow up.
Awesome.
Thank you,
All
Tyler,
right.
for coming. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys have a great
Oh, hey.
holiday. Oh,
Hey,
go
real
ahead.
quick, Tyler mentioned a newsletter that he sends out. How would everybody on here get on your newsletter?
Yeah.
You send
So
a weekly newsletter?
Yeah, I do one called Tech with Ty. And I've been doing it for about, I think we're on our 144th or 145th issue of that. So if you go to agentafterhours.com/blog, or you can just click blog at the top, but agentafterhours.com/blog, that takes you to the email sign up. It's free. We do tech is the acronym for technology, education, coaching, and how to. Comes out every Thursday around 2:00, unless I'm out of town or sick. So there you go.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys and everybody. Well, next one will be the second Thursday in December. So we'll post more on that, but let's all go be interactive on the page and share your stuff. So it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Go be interactive.
Go be interactive. So we're having a lot of fun with the play on words there. So all right. Thanks guys. Have a great one. Nate, travel safe. Okay. Thank you,
All
Tyler.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.